Today you're going to react to some very unlikely murderers.
Murders?
True crime. The devices are scary.
Josh Phillips was born in Jacksonville, Florida on March 17, 1984. He was born into a troubled household. His father was a drug addict, an alcoholic, and also possessed a violent temper. It
always starts at home.
Evening in 1998 when a young 80-year-old Maddie Clifton was reported missing.
Oh, she's the one in the underneath the bed, the mattress.
Philip's mother Melissa was cleaning her son's bedroom one evening when she noticed his waterbed seemed to be leaking. After inspecting it, she was horrified to find that underneath the bed laid the corpse of the missing child.
He just slept on her.
As told by Josh, the little girl had come over his place one evening.
Yeah, they're like neighbors or something, right? Like they all know each other.
They decided to play a game of batting.
No.
However, when Josh struck the ball, it ended up hitting the small girl on the head, knocking her on the floor, causing her to bleed and cry uncontrollably. In a panic and fear of what his violent father would do to him for hurting the child and having her over when he was not allowed to have any company when no one was home, he immediately dragged the small child into his house and began choking her with a telephone wire until she ceased to cry.
He just panicked.
To hide the body underneath his bed. Phillips was charged with first-degree murder. He was then convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Holy crap.
That was really sad.
And that just ruins lives, ruins so many lives.
What was interesting about this case is that you understood how everything just got out of control.
I think he could have been scared of his dad, especially like as a young child. You actually don't know what they're gonna do, but like, I mean, I still wouldn't have done that.
In later trials, it actually came out that he may have fabricated that entire story about his dad.
Oh, in that case, that deserves to burn.
Is it fair to send a kid to prison for the rest of their lives for something that they did at 10, 12, 13 years old? I don't think so. I don't know.
That's really hard to say. If that were me, like, just saying it, like, personally, I wouldn't want him to be out. Because I honestly wouldn't feel safe.
You look at their eyes and you can tell that there's like no soul. There's no life whatsoever.
What drives a child to kill another child? That's the heart-wrenching question being asked in a tiny New York village where a jury today began considering the case of a 14-year-old boy on trial for murder. His victim, a 4-year-old boy.
The only thing more shocking than the crime was the identity of the killer.
I've seen this case before.
A freckle-faced redhead named Eric Smith, who was 13 when he confessed to the killing.
I remember this kid.
Eric enticed him into a wooded area that's adjacent to McCoy Street, and once there, killed Derek Roby by means of choking him as well as trauma to his head and body.
Oh yeah, this one was really disturbing.
Oh, that poor mom.
There's like nothing there. He's just so dead behind those. Oh my god.
That is awful. His poor mother. I mean, the guilt that she has to be living with right now.
That kid was so messed up, he did it younger, but it would have probably happened in his adult life.
People are probably going to ask, well, you know, it's the parents' fault. You know, like, what part did they have to play in this?
You think of kids as the innocent ones, right? And so for that to happen so brutally, it just begs to question, was there something off in him mentally at birth? And then what then does his home life look like?
When you look at a child, right, you kind of just think of innocence automatically. So it's kind of really, really crazy that they're able to, like, do all this stuff, and you're just like, what was going on through that kid's head? Like, what did he experience for him to have a type of drive to even physically even hurt someone, let alone kill them?
In 1994, Smith was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to the maximum term available for juvenile murderers. He is still in prison and has been denied parole 10 times since 2002, most recently in January of 2020. Do you think he should ever be granted parole?
You know, the thing, in a word, no.
Not until a psychiatric evaluation and demonstration of behavior that allows him, that shows that he can readjust to society.
This wasn't kids who got into a fight and one got so mad, hit him with a bat, and then, I mean, this was lured him away, strangled him, dropped the rock. I don't think it's safe for that person to get out of jail, ever.
It makes me wonder, for kids like that, can they be saved? Can they be worked with?
On May 25th, 1968, the body of 4-year-old Martin Brown was found dead from asphyxiation in an abandoned home in a rough neighborhood of Newcastle. 2 months later, another toddler was found asphyxiated on Newcastle waste ground. This time, it was 3-year-old Brian Howe. The police knew they had a serial killer on their hands and launched a large-scale investigation that involved interviewing 1,200 children. 2 of the children interviewed were of interest to the police due to the answers they gave being suspicious. The 2 girls were 11 and 13-year-old Mary Bell and Norma Bell,
Oh my god, it was
who,
a kid.
although they shared a surname, were unrelated beyond friendship. The girls eventually broke down during interrogation and turned on each other.
They always
Both
do
claiming
that. They
the other
always
had
slip and they always blame
Charles'
each other.
neck
It's so
until they
dumb.
stopped moving. On August the 5th, 1968, both girls were put under arrest. Mary's response to this was, "That's all right by me."
Wow.
She said, "That's all right."
Not guilty, whereas Mary was found guilty of killing the boys. However, due to her young age, it was impossible for her to be tried for murder in Britain,
Oh yeah, this is different.
and was thus sentenced to life for manslaughter. She spent
Manslaughter.
8 years in a young offenders institute,
Oh my
followed by 4 years in an
gosh.
open prison, before being released with a new identity in 1980. Mary Bell became the first person in British history to be awarded a lifetime anonymity order.
What?
This meant that she was provided with a new name and a life away from the public eye.
That was too kind.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Mary Bell was born in 1957 to mentally unstable 17-year-old prostitute Betty Bell. Betty took an instant disliking to her daughter and began abusing the child from a very early age.
Oh.
There were at least several attempts on Mary's life at her mother's hands. The most
What?
vindictive murder attempt came when Betty Bell pushed her daughter from a window. Mary suffered severe head trauma during the fall and sustained brain
Oh.
damage to her prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain used in voluntary movements and decision making.
All starts at home. All starts at home.
Oh, I kind of do feel sad about that one.
What do you think of the fact that she was granted anonymity?
That's pretty nuts. That's almost rewarding bad behavior, and I'm just like, what were you guys thinking?
Yeah, I don't really know why they deserve that.
And it could be because she was a kid when that happened. So I guess that makes sense. I just don't like it.
So you saw some pretty disturbing cases today involving heinous crimes committed by children. What do you think it is that leads kids to commit such crimes? Is it more nature? Is it more nurture?
Oh my god, that's hard to say.
I think it has to be the perfect blend of both.
Between the two, I'm thinking more nurture.
There are like really aggressive children. Like I had a family friend who like bit someone in when they were in preschool. But then the parents nurture them to not bite people.
I mean, I think there's got to be obviously a mental disorder, because there's people who come out of abusive households that don't commit murder. So I think that it's probably medical and environmental.
You know, they're bad seeds. They're just whatever. They're just wired. I mean, if you're really just if you're able to sit there and like actually contemplate that thought of taking someone's life, I mean, you're already not wired correctly. But I mean, there has to be, you know, from the very beginning, something to do with how you were raised.
In many of these cases, they said, like, you know, the father was abusive or was on drugs, the mother did horrible things, and usually that is enough an explanation to go, oh, okay, we get it, this person is a bad seed. But you also have bad seeds that come from perfectly good, well-meaning parents, and those are harder to explain.